Are you planning on going to the UK in January or actually next year in 2025? Are you a US citizen? If any of these two apply, you have to watch this video. My name is Kerwin and I'm with PassFire.com and CruisingL2.com. And the requirements for entering the UK are changing effective January 2025. So you need to watch this video and I'm going to go through it with you. Let's go. So the UK is one of the places I visit the most. I love traveling to London. Originally from Jamaica, and the London country, the UK countryside, actually reminds me a lot of Jamaica. Sounds strange, but it's true. Now, just a little bit of geography. The United Kingdom is get complex from time to time. It's Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England. I think I got them all. Most people, when they say they're going to the UK, they're really going to London. Uh, or they say if you're not from the region, it doesn't matter. You just say you're going to Cardiff, which is in Wales, or you're going to Edinburgh, which is in Scotland, or you're going to London, which is in England. But they all combined together make the United Kingdom plus Northern Ireland. And uh, and so typically, as a US citizen, you do not need a visa to enter the United Kingdom as long as you're there for purposes tourism and your stay is less than 6 months. Typically anything outside of those criteria, you will need to apply for a specific visa for your specific circumstance. Now, today, they've instituted something called the Electronic Travel Authority. Now, this is not a visa, although a lot of people confuse it with a visa, but it's not a visa. It is an authorization to travel to the UK. And if you're from a country that does not require a visa, then you still need to get the ETA going forward. And at the moment, about the countries in the Middle East can apply for it before they travel. But you, as a US citizen, will have to apply for an ETA if your travel is on or after the 8th of January. And you won't be allowed to do this until tomorrow, November 27th. Today is November 26th, which is why I'm doing this video. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. So who can apply? Let's go through that. Currently, it's if you're from Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, or the United Arab Emirates, you have to apply for an ETA before you leave your country. The airlines will not allow you to get on a plane if you do not have the ETA. There are other countries that needs well, currently, who does not need the ETA. If you're from a national of another country, you do not currently need an ETA. But if you need a visa, you need to make sure you get that visa for your country. And I'm just going to give you a list of the countries here that they have. Okay. So the countries that can apply from November 27th, 2024 but remember, this is if you're going to be traveling from the 8th of January, 2025. So if you're going to be traveling to the UK between now and the 27th and the 7th of January inclusive, you will not need a visa. I'm sorry, you will not need an ETA. Now remember, when you travel to the UK, you leave here on the 7th, for example, of January, and you'll arrive on the 8th. So if you're leaving on the 7th and you're arriving on the 8th, you will need to get an ETA. If you're leaving on the 6th and you're arriving on the 7th, you do not need the ETA. And if you're from these countries, this is who qualifies for the ETA. in addition to the, what's that, six Middle Eastern countries that are already using the ETA. So typically it's Antigua and Barbuda. So these are Argentina, Australia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Botswana. Now notice that not all the Caribbean islands qualify because some of them require a visa, like Jamaica's not in here, Haiti's not in here. Let's see, Dominica and Dominican Republic is not in here. But as you scroll down, you can see that the United States is in. So if you're from the US, US citizen, effective the 27th of November, you can apply for an ETA, but it's for travel from the 8th of January onwards. And this also, this will eventually include everyone, but it's a staged rollout. So if you want to travel, if you're from Europe, the rest of Europe, and you want to travel to the UK after, on or after 2nd of April, from the 5th of March next year, you can go apply for your ETA. If you're traveling between now and the 1st of April, inclusive, you don't have to apply for an ETA. You can just do your normal travel that you normally do. And these are the countries, and it's typically all the EU countries that are in here. Okay. So I'm going to back up a little bit and go back to here. And so we talked about who needs it. So you do not need it if any of these apply. If you have a visa. So if you're from Jamaica and you have a visa, or from Haiti, Dominican Republic, or one of those countries, and you're going to the UK, you do not need to do the ETA because you have the visa. Now you have permission to live, work, or study in the UK, then you do not need the ETA. You're a British citizen or an Irish citizen, you do not need the ETA. You're traveling in the British Overseas Territory, citizen passport. This are places like Montserrat, I think Bermuda, and Gibraltar, just to name three, are countries where you don't need you're already a part of the British Overseas Territories, so you do not you're treated like a British citizen, kind of. Um, so if you have dual citizenship, that means that you are a dual citizen with British or Irish citizenship. You do not need the ETA. Now, what can you do with the ETA? It says you can get an ETA instead of the visa if you are coming to the UK for up to 6 months for tourism, visiting family and friends, business, or short-term study. If you're doing anything outside of that, so if you're going to stay more than 6 months, you need a different type of visa. If you're coming to the UK for up to 3 months on the creative worker visa concession, then you need the ETA. If you are coming to the UK for permitted paid engagement, you need the ETA. If you're transiting through the UK, you need the ETA. This is very important because the UK is a huge, like Heathrow more so than Gatwick, is a huge transit city and well, airport. It's almost like a city because it's so large, right? So if you're transiting, and transit means, let's say you're going to the Middle East, you're going to Qatar from the US, or you're going to India from the US, and you're transiting through the UK. If you do not have a visa, then you need to get the ETA, and you because even though you're just transiting, you need the ETA, right? Just make sure you check that, and if you don't have it, when you get to the airport, they will not allow you to fly because it takes 3 days to get it. It's not immediate. It may be immediate, but it takes up to 3 days, although everything is done online. Now, what you cannot do with the ETA, you cannot stay in the UK for longer than 6 months. You cannot do paid or unpaid work for a UK company or a self-employed person. That means you're not allowed to work. Typically, most visitor visa does not allow you to work. This is an ETA, so it's kind of similar, but it's not a visa. Live in the UK through frequent or successive visits. Um, this is where what people do, they'll keep coming back and they'll leave the UK when the 6 months is up, and then they'll come back again. What they're saying is that you cannot do that with the ETA. You need a different type of visa if that's what you want to do. How much does it cost? It's £10, and you can apply online, and they take Google Play, Apple Pay, debit cards, and credit cards. But what they're saying is that the system will time out after 20 minutes. So as a result of it timing out of 20 minutes, you need to make sure you have all the stuff that you need. So you will need to make sure you have your passport with you, not a copy of the passport, the passport itself. Make sure you have access to your email because they're going to send a code to the email, and you need to be able to have that code so you can put it into the system, whatever they're doing. Make sure you have the passport. They are gonna do a face scan, and they also need to take a picture off you. So make sure you have, it's easier if you do it on your phone, um, even if you're not using the app, because it's gonna ask you to take a picture of yourself. So either you have the picture ready or you can take a current picture. And to apply, the best way to apply is using the app. I suggest come into this page. So just Google UK ETA. They're calling it ETA. And the reason why you should come to this page and download is there is a lot of fake apps in the App Store. Yes, it's not supposed to be there, but just go in and you'll see what I mean. When you try to find a particular app that does a particular thing, sometimes you can't find that app, but you find other apps with the same or very similar logo. If you come to here and you hit the App Store, for example, it will take you directly to the app that you need to download. So there's no second guessing what the app is. You make sure you download the right thing. Let's go back and download Google Play. We'll do something similar. You hit install, and it'll install it on your phone. You can also do it straight from the Google Play Store on your phone. So either way is good. You can also apply online, and they actually, I'll show you how to do it online in a little bit. And they have these videos that shows you how the process works, which is actually quite good. And I think there's a little guide here that just tells you how the app works. Check it on your phone, what version it works with, what to do for Android users. What if you're applying for someone else? You can use the app to apply for an ETA for someone else if they're with you at the time you apply. This is because you'll have to take a photo of them and scan their face. So if you're applying for someone else, like if you're trying to applying for your children, make sure they're here. I think they have an age. I think if you're under 9, you won't need to apply for one for the child because the child is actually traveling with a parent. But this page here gives you really good information and tells you what to do, how to scan the page that you need to scan, and if your passport has that little symbol on the front of the passport, it tells you what you need to do with that. And if you're having trouble, it tells you what to do if you travel. It tells you how to scan your face. Hold your phone and camera in front of your face until the scanning is complete. If you are applying for someone else, you need to scan their face. If you're 9 or younger, you will not be asked to scan your face. So you still require one, I guess, if you're younger, but they're not going to scan your face because you're too young for whatever their privacy concerns are in there. So it tells you you complete the application, you need to answer a question about your address, your job, your criminal history, your other nationalities if you have any. If you're under 18, you need to give your contact details for someone who has parental responsibility for you. If you need to pay in the app, sorry, you'll need to pay in the app, and you get a confirmation email to say your application is submitted. It takes 3 days, up to 3 days, and it's working days, right? Working days. So if you do it on a Friday, you may not get it until Tuesday because Saturday and Sunday are working days. Remember that the UK is, well, if you're in the US, it's 5 or 6 hours or 8 hours, depending on which part of the United States you are. And some parts around the world that might be different. So recognize that that's also an issue. Um, if you need help with the app, they do have the system online. So they've really thought about it and they've given you quite a bit of information on here on how to help. It may take longer than 3 days, so recognize that as well. And so if it's good for 2 years. So if you know you're going to be traveling in 2025, on the 27th of November, you can start applying and it'll be good for 2 years. It'll be good. You'll probably get it back, let's say the 30th of November, and you can get it back. It'll be good for 2 years. So it'll be good to 2027 and you can 2026, sorry, and then you can travel effective the 8th of January with the ETA and you'll be fine. And there's nothing you have to do. You don't have to present anything except your passport because the information is completely stored on the with your passport details. Now, it is good for 2 years. And if your passport expires within that 2 years, you have to get another one. Another ETA, that is. Well, you have to get another passport and then apply again for the ETA and you get 2 more years. I think that's how it works. So if you're traveling as a group, everyone in the group needs to apply for themselves individually. Can't do a group application. And it tells you after you apply, ETA is good for 2 years, and it just tells you how to get some help there. Uh, and I go up and so I wanted to show you, talked about the countries that's needed. And I wanted to show you the actual, what happens when you go to apply. It says what it is, what it isn't. Apply using apply online. So you definitely need to get to this page because this page has all the links that you need. Tells you how to apply. Upload a photo of the passport. It's gonna scan your face. So you need the phone to do that. Upload a photo of yourself, answer some questions, and pay for your application. Now, when you hit continue, it asks you for your email address, and this is where it's going to send you the um, the piece that you need. So I'll just cancel that. It's going to send you an email, and you give you a number, and you put the number in. Are you sure you want to delete? Yes, I'm out. And then it takes you back. It takes you back to here. Uh, but tomorrow is the day, November 27th, when the system will be open so that if you're going to be traveling after January 8th, on or after January 8th, 2025, you will need one. The airlines will not let you board without one because when they scan your passport, it'll come back and say, do you have an ETA or not? But if you're a UK citizen, you won't need one. Um, so I hope this helps. This is going to be confusing. It's always confusing because people are going to show up, they never heard of it. But the airlines are pretty good at sending you the information. And you can always come to passrider.com or cruisealtitude.com, or you can also sign up for my newsletter at passrider.com/sign up. And I try to be on top of all this type of information. Um, and sometimes people tell me, or I just find it on my own, or when I travel, you realize that things are needed that weren't needed before. So I hope this helped. If you get any question at all, leave a comment on the video below. Um, these requirements are always changing, so it's always good to be on top of it. This is Kerwin at passrider.com and cruisingaltitude.com. Have a great trip and talk to you soon.